The term teaching comes from the verb to teach, which means to mark, to sign. So the word itself indicates something that stays into something. In this case, the teacher has to leave something with the student, a trace of himself and of his work. What is taught is not always something linked to scientific or scholastic notions. Usually, when we think about a teacher, we immediately have the image of someone working in a school. But teaching can also be referred to kinds of knowledge that are not necessarily linked to the school environment. In fact, there are so many areas in which we can find teaching. For example, conveying a profession, a discipline, a musical instrument, a kind of sport. In all these fields, the teacher is a fundamental individual during the journey of the learner that places in him the confidence and the hope to succeed in a particular area. The role of teacher is one of the hardest roles because it requires not only to be prepared about the subject or the discipline in question in order to obtain a good results. In fact, there are many factors that influence the success of the didactic area. Among these, there is the ability to establish a good bond between the teacher and the scholar. This relationship has to be based on respect and confidence, two features that will play a fundamental role in order to spring interest, curiosity, and, why not, love towards what the teacher wants to teach. Firstly, a good teacher has to know deeply who is in front of them. Notions remain the same, but the minds change. Each scholar has their own psychological characteristics, his school and family lifestyle. Teachers are often underestimated, but actually they have an important role that, apart from being very important, it includes so much fatigue and difficulties. So many difficulties as the many different minds, characters and preparation of so many students. A word, even if unconsciously said, can damage the results of hard-lasting work. It is not possible to forecast what will be the student's reaction listening to what he is told. That is why a teacher should choose their words wisely. Just as one wrong word, a right word at the right time, can positively affect the pupil, raising their self-esteem and the confidence in the same teacher. Motivation and being motivated has a very positive influence on us all, in particular on a person who is beginning to learn a specific discipline or field. Unmotivated students will work harder than a student who has not been given trust. In fact, lack of motivation is sometimes synonymous with low self-confidence. Feeling unable is the first step towards failure. It is motivation that is at the base of a new technique, that is coaching, that isn't far from the role of a teacher. Coaching can be defined as an interaction aimed at helping you to define and then to achieve goals. Coaching can help you improve your performance and move towards greater success. This method is a powerful tool that helps people to face their lives, if they have difficulties, and to achieve objectives set by them. It was in the United States in 1950 that the concept of coaching was heard of for the first time. This method arrived in the United Kingdom during the 1980s and then it reached Italy all in the last decade. But obviously its origins date back farther. In fact, several philosophers have addressed the topic of encouragement to give their best. The International Coaching Federation is the largest non-profit professional association in the world of coaching. Its purpose is to develop, support and preserve the integrity of the profession in the world and increase public confidence in the profession. The International Coaching Federation's mission is to be the reference point for the art and science of coaching, a place designed to inspire transformational conversation and continuous improvement, and spread awareness of the contribution that coaching can offer for the future of humanity. The standards of excellence, professionalism and code of ethics recognized by the International Coaching Federation form a solid basis for self-regulation of the coaching profession. Coaching is close to teaching, as a support method, being a good way in order to ensure students good results. It helps them to develop feelings of acceptance, safety and self-confidence, and moreover, it teaches them to face stressful situations and it creates group collaboration and respect. The confidence that the teacher has for the students' potential lets them increase their self-confidence and improve the way in which they face their life and the environment in which they are. In these ways, the scholar is helped to believe in themselves and in their capacities. They are encouraged to be focused on future success and to learn from past failures. Coaching, through the identification of personal goals, is a fundamental instrument for students that see in the personality of the coach a point of reference, an example to follow and someone who shows them the right way and the right method to follow it. A coach needn't be a professional coach. In fact, for the students, a coach could be a teacher in which they have lots of confidence. It could be a tesi supervisor for university students, a lyceum professor or a dance or swimming teacher, but also simply a person who has decided to believe in us. Being coaching based on future success and not on past failures, it is a concept that young people with low self-confidence should focus on. Talking about motivation and about the relationship between a teacher and a student, a good example is the movie That Spoiled Society, starring an extraordinary Robbie Williams in the role of John Keating. Keating is an advanced professor teaching at the Welton Academy in Vermont, a private college school for boys. From his first lessons, Keating proves to be different from the other teachers, both in the way in which he behaves with scholars and in his teaching methods. His approach immediately results out of the norm of the rigid college, colloquial, confidential and reassuring, so that in order to make students say what they want, he lets them stand on their desk. Professor Keating's methods, together with his students' actions, face conformism and seriousness that there had always been at Welton. However, the new reality they lived in is viewed negatively by the headmaster and obviously by the students' parents as well. This movie is a picture of what a relationship between a student and his teacher can become. In this case, some boys without ideals and convinced that life is only what they learn from books manage to start thinking with their own heads thanks to Keating's ongoing inputs. Students that initially study poetry and literature only because it was imposed to them begin to love it so much that they set up a secret society in order to be free to speak and to discuss their own words. Keating, with his extraordinary love for poetry, manages to impart them that passion that lets him go on, spurring them to not just follow orders, but to start growing as human beings, each of them with their own mind.
Why do I stand up here? Anybody?
To feel taller.
No. Thank you for playing, Mr. Dalton. I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way. See, the world looks very different from up here. You don't believe me? Come see for yourselves. Come on. Come on. Just when you think you know something, you have to look at it in another way. Even though it may seem silly or wrong, you must try. Now, when you read, don't just consider what the author thinks. Consider what you think. Boys, you must strive to find your own voice. Because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. Thoreau said most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Don't be resigned to that. Break out. Now don't just walk off the edge like lemmings. Look around you.
Teacher, mentor, coach, friend, no matter what role certain individuals play in our lives, the most important thing is what they leave inside with us, new ideas to improve and to succeed. Willpower is the main force, and when a teacher understands that this is the first notion to teach to their students, only then he can really be considered a teacher.